We're back here in the bonus round from WP24 Restaurant at LA Live as we count down to our E3 live coverage here on Spike and GT. I'm still here with Garnet, Andrea, and Alex to talk about what we can expect from Nintendo and Sony at E3. So let's start with Nintendo, our good friend Reggie. Whirlwind of information on how they are doing an E3 press conference. They aren't. They're doing this booth presentation with Reggie and Miyamoto. They're doing a Nintendo Direct, communicating a bunch of information. I understand the sort of confusion because I think Nintendo is a little confused right now about how to get their message out. How do they compete against these big blockbuster next-gen consoles that are clearly now, I think everyone can admit, more powerful than a Nintendo Wii U. Andrea, what do you think Nintendo does? How do they win E3, or can they win E3 this year?
I think that Nintendo could absolutely be the dark horse at E3 if they really bring their A game with their first-party software.
Right.
I think that they made the same mistake they made with the 3DS when they launched the 3DS originally, by not bringing enough as far as really awesome Nintendo franchises that their fan base knows and loves. And when they launched the Wii U, it was the exact same thing.
Right.
It was like, you know, new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, and like that was it. Mm-hmm. And I think that in order for them to really come out strong this E3, they have to bring a 3D Mario title.
Right.
They should bring a 3D Zelda, and pipe dream maybe a 3D Metroid game.
Right.
Maybe.
We talked about Smash Brothers or something. That's
yeah,
like
we've heard Super Smash 4, and I think that they really just need to just bring it all. Don't hold anything back.
Bring it all.
Bring it all.
That's probably good boardroom advice. Guys, bring it all.
Bring the big guns. So if they can deliver, lots of great Nintendo software at E3, I think, the gamers, there's, an element of nostalgia that you've got a new Mario, a new Zelda, Mario Kart. It sounds like they're, as you said, firing on all cylinders with all their stuff. Is that enough, Garnet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We already know that they're going to have the trio of there. You're going to have Mario Kart, which can be fantastic, and Smash Brothers. People are going to go nuts for Smash Brothers. Mm-hmm. So the question is, and I think the answer to this, I'm going to say right up front, is yes. Do they have the wherewithal to know, hey, you know what, we probably need to bring something of that 3D Zelda, right? I think that there will be a lot of internal discussion about that. Japanese company, very close to the vest, there will be a whole, we don't want to show it, but there's going to be enough pressure that they know needed to show that. And then Retro Studios, probably doing something new. Add in another game or two, and they absolutely have a lineup that suddenly looks like a console that's been around for 4 or 5 or 6 months. Now, it's been around for a year, and that's a problem. And the fact that they would still have, things probably like the wonderful 101 on the floor, which everyone last year thought, oh, this will be around a launch. That was a launch window title, by the way.
Pikmin's still not out.
Pikmin's still not out, but it'll be out in August.
Yep.
So they have some good stories to tell there. If they can get a couple of surprises into the mix that do tap back into their heritage, because the problem they've had for a long time is they haven't. Where's the reinvigoration?
And even there's like Bayonetta 2, they've teased that.
Yeah.
They actually do have a fair amount of software, but in a world where these other systems are talking about, entertainment, other bigger ideas, next gen.
Well, I think the big problem Nintendo's going to have is not chasing Microsoft and Sony specifically this year. And the Microsoft conference is a very specific example, right? They go, yeah, games are going to be awesome. They're going to be way better. Okay, let's talk about all the other stuff that this console is going to do. You know what I mean? And I feel like Nintendo was the exact opposite when it came out with the Wii U. It was like, let's focus on how cool these games are finally. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh yeah, we do this live TV, stuff as well, which they talked about, but not nearly as much as the Microsoft press conference. I think the problem that Nintendo's going to have, the trip up that they could do, is come forward and all they talk about is how just like the Xbox One, their Wii U was already, and not push forward on those games. They have to start talking about first-party titles, and that's the stuff that we want.
And they have to because it seems like third-party support is already kind of pretty much dried up for the Wii U. So it's like you're not going to see a lot.
Do you think that stays? Because I could see a future where allegedly Microsoft has a surprise for 360 coming at E3.
Okay.
So they're going to try and extend the life cycle there. It's going to cost another level of magnitude higher to develop for PS4 and Xbox One, and yet Wii U could be the third platform with PlayStation 3 and 360, on which developers still make viable titles for a big audience.
Yeah, I
and
think
it could be the best of those
The
three.
problem is, I think Nintendo bet big last year on
Yeah,
the
they
launch.
did.
They convinced all those third parties to bring software. The system didn't sell. So I think if the Wii U starts to sell again in a big way, maybe people will port their 360 version to the Wii U. But still, I think gamers are going to see that as being those games for Wii U will be a generation behind kind of what the publishers are putting on Xbox One and PS4. So then it feels antiquated. Yes, Nintendo's got some great first-party software, but it's all the stuff we're talking about is for the core gamer. And the core gamer might buy a Wii U and a PS4 or an Xbox One, but I wonder, what is that mainstream hit that can sort of, how can Nintendo be broader, right? It's like with Wii Fit and things like that, and Wii Sports, they haven't done any of that, and I wonder, why aren't they doing that? Is that what they need to be doing? Is saying, hey, we can be, what's their Wii Sports for Wii U? That could create a whole new market.
Well, they're
for
still
them.
asking that question.
Right, yeah.
They're very definitely still asking.
Yeah,
that. I mean, you look at a game like Game and Wario.
Right.
So they're still trying to get down this idea of even showing you how you play with the gamepad and do something interesting with it, whether it's throwing stars or looking down into platforms where you're jumping around or any of the other different interactions. And they're still trying to sell that whole first level concept of you play with a pad and you have something on the television.
Yeah, I haven't seen any games so far that have really wowed me with the integration with the gamepad, and I think that's a huge problem for Nintendo because they haven't given gamers a reason to buy a Wii U. They haven't given us great first-party titles yet, and they haven't given us really cool interaction with the gamepad. I mean, don't get me wrong, playing Luigi's Mansion is fun for a little while, and some of these, the Nintendo Land party games are fun in a party setting, but as a single player experience, we haven't really seen anything really outside of Zombie U that really did a great job
Which got it.
Yes, they did get it. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
but
if you got the arm muscles to hold
some
it up.
issues
And that's the thing,
with
you're not going to get that from third parties now. I think you may
Well,
get
and that's the
ports from
thing.
sort of other games.
But you can do cool things. I mean, one of the things I think that is really interesting to me about Wii U is being able to play a game full screen with no HUD.
Yeah.
Because I can have all those elements down here, and I can have that immersive experience on
Like
the
that
screen.
Zelda tech demo that they showed
Right.
when they first showed the Wii U. That was beautiful. I was like, if we could get that game, if they announced that game, that will sell consoles.
Yeah, because all we're usually getting now is sort of like, oh yeah, it also plays Call of Duty.
Right.
Yeah, but you can kind of push the screen in this
Yeah,
one.
I don't think you're
it's
going to
like-
get a ton of innovation from third parties on the platform. You may get ports, and that's why it comes back to Nintendo first party. They're going to have a lot of great games at E3. We know that.
Yeah.
The question is, is there something else? Is there a surprise, new franchises they're doing, or a new twist on Wii U that could sort of steal the show? I think it'll be hard for them, but we'll see. All right, guys, well, when our discussion continues here at the WP24 restaurant at LA Live, we'll move on to Sony and what they need to do at E3 2013.